Valerian wasn't exactly a film people were looking forward to this summer, but is it any good? Let's find out. Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets is an adaptation of a very world-renowned French graphic novel and is directed by Luc Besson, the same guy who brought us Lucy and The Fifth Element. And in this story, Agent Valerian and Lauraline, played by Dane, Dahan, and Cara Delevine, are on a very particular mission when they get a message from headquarters which calls them back to Alpha, or known as the City of a Thousand Planets. And once there, they discover that Alpha may have more secrets than they previously thought. Now, let's be honest, the marketing for this movie was pretty abysmal. When I saw the trailers for it, although I really like Luc Besson as a director, I thought this movie was just gonna be all flash and no substance, kinda like a Transformers movie. And I'm really happy to say that's not the case. The movie's a piping hot mess for sure, but it is very enjoyable. Starting with the visuals, I can guarantee that 95% of this was shot on a green screen, and the film looks incredible. Quite a few times I would be looking on screen and I would be just amazed at how photorealistic some of these creatures and environments looked. Also, along with the visuals in the movie, the fight scenes and the action was really fun to watch too. But however, visuals and really good action scenes don't necessarily make for a cohesive overall movie, so let's talk about the rest. I thought Dane DeHaan and Cara Delevingne did a fine job in this movie. It wasn't the greatest performances in the world, we'll get to that in a second, but for this crazy over-the-top space adventure, it worked. The story within this movie might be my favorite part of it, however, because there's a lot of messages about a government's rule over its people, what you would do for friendship, what you would do for love, but unfortunately, the story doesn't exactly come together very cohesively. Honestly, Valerian feels like taking an entire season of TV and squishing it to 2 hours and 17 minutes. In fact, there were several points in this movie where I felt that it could have benefited from being a TV series. For instance, there are several times where Valerian and Lauraline will meet very interesting and very different people, sometimes that have really dark and haunting pasts, and then a couple minutes later, those characters are gone. And the departure from character to character is so quick that you don't have time to latch onto any of them. And there was some choppy editing in this movie. At some point during Valerian and Lauraline's quest, Valerian says in the best Keanu impression he can give that he's had this astonishing revelation. But nowhere before that part in the movie does the audience even recognize that he got that revelation. It was really jarring. Not quite as jarring as Dane DeHaan trying to copy Neo from the Matrix, though. Honestly, I don't even think this was Dane DeHaan. I'm pretty sure it was young Keanu Reeves on screen. At one point, I was just expecting him to go, whoa. Sadly, he didn't, but Dane DeHaan was very entertaining as Keanu Reeves 2.0. Now we have to talk about Cara Delevingne and the script, because I have the same feelings on both of them. 50% of the movie, I thought Cara Delevingne in the script was working well for what the movie was, a really cheesy space adventure, and then the other 50%? No. Guys, that other 50%, it's bad. The dialogue went from being cheesy and fun for this little space adventure we're having into some of the worst dialogue I have heard in a long time. It was awkward, it was forced, it was cheesy, and not in a good way. And not to mention, when the script started going downhill, Cara Delevingne's performance started going downhill. Because she went from this hardcore military personnel with some really great personality to someone that has no personality whatsoever. Honestly, it feels as though for everything that I like about Valerian, there is something that I dislike about Valerian. It's an innovative, visually groundbreaking film that's a pretty fun space adventure too, but it's also got a lot of problems. Even though the performances and the storytelling in the script really aren't all that great, I think I can still push this one because I had a lot of fun watching it. So I'll say that Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets is a casual watch. But as always, it is what you guys say that matters. So have you already seen Valerian in the City of a Thousand Planets? And what did you think of it? More importantly, what did you think of the graphic novel? If you have a chance to read it, leave a comment down below telling me your thoughts. And if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right there and subscribe and become part of the fray of nerds who love cinema. You all have a fantastic day.